Hey, what's good? Thanks for pressing play on another Pmnm sports entertainment TV talk video. Y'all gotta excuse me. I'm in here with my wife overnight on the Ohio State Medical Center. So, but I wanted to check in because obviously this was a special weekend with the return of Showtime's The Shy and season two. Usually I have more notes with me and all the characters' names and all of that. Usually read the synopsis of the episode from IMDb, and usually I'm in the privacy of my basement so I can be me. But I got my missus over here, so I have to stay succinct and you know you got to be the I got to be Reggie. But anyway, getting into it, I was I had some issues last year. I'm gonna, to be serious, I had some issues last year with how the series unfolded or how the season unfolded. Um, I struggled to understand why Brandon, didn't want to get the police involved with his younger brother who was gunned down in the first episode, I believe, early in the first episode, Coogie. And I understand that in the community, in the black community, we don't rock with the police, but in a situation like this, and being that Brandon didn't want to take matters into his own hands, and go get some revenge against I think his name is Ronnie. Um, I just kind of struggle with how realistic that was. But anyway, I thought the season finished fairly decent, and I'm glad that it came back. So let's get into the first episode. It continues with the same theme that it's not a lot of happy people. It's not a lot of good situations going on in the shot. To open the episode, Brandon, who finally gets going with his food truck, he gets jacked after a hard day of work. Obviously, things are up and down for him still, and he's still grasping the concept of taking care of his business. And his woman got on him because she finds out, or he has to admit to her that he doesn't have insurance. Earlier in the day, he was getting a boot put on the food truck as he was serving customers, and he had to talk his way out of that. So again, he's not taking care. He's creating situations for himself and not in parking in places where he's getting ticketed, and then on the backside he's not taking care of paying for those, and it's coming back to bite him in the ass. So he's still struggling. He does manage to get his vehicle back. It is trash, but I think he lost some equipment. And then, just in general, he's looking at taking on an extra job just to earn more money, help out with his girlfriend. I can't remember her name at the moment, but that's kind of what's going on to him. I mean, going on with him in the first episode. Uh, he didn't really connect with anybody else on the street side of the show, except for he did go try to take the gun back to I think his name is Reg. Uh, he went and visited him, so that's the only time that we saw Reg this episode. But he's getting he's last year he became the boss of the old crew that was led by Trice, and he played a major role in getting rid of Trice. The funny thing with Trice, just as a quick side note, is I don't think that we've ever seen another gangster, like a primary gangster or a lead gangster. I don't think we've ever seen one get uh, gotten rid of that quickly. And the funny thing is, to add insult to injury, the guy is actually now on a commercial as a telemarketer. So that's what he's doing nowadays. But anyway, getting back to the Shy, I think one of the challenging parts of the show is the fact that Lena Waithe is dealing with some of the adult issues in Chicago, inner city Chicago, and then she's also spending quite a bit of time with the three young kids, and Kevin, Papa, and Jake, and that's in my opinion that's just going to be a struggle to pull these two worlds together for us to spend some of the lighter moments with the three friends. We actually saw Jake. We saw Papa organize a reunion between Jake and Kevin, and they actually went old school and broke out the boxing gloves, and worked out their differences or their beef so that the team could be the big three could be reunited. So I thought that was cool. We see some things going on in school and just catch up with the fellas in general. I think we're dealing with a little bit of, I know post traumatic stress syndrome is something that, and the effects of living in the inner city and all of that stuff. I think that's come to the forefront lately, the last couple of years, and now, in an emphasis on mental health. And so Kevin, I guess his mom has him seeing a therapist, and his older sister speaks to him and encourages him to take advantage of that and working through any issues that might have come out of the situation last year with him witnessing Coogie being shot and then living shot and killed, and then living several months worrying about you know worrying about Ronnie doing something to him because Ronnie saw him witnessing the killing of Coogie. Moving on to the other situation that's also kind of difficult to piece together what the Shy really is about is, and I'm totally drawing a blank with, I know his son's name is EJ. You know what his name is? I cannot think of the singer who's also in the show. The young man who's trying to learn how to be a father. His mother has moved on. I guess her moving to Chicago to Seattle last year did not work, and she was back in Chicago to start this episode, but she decides that it's time to kick him out of the nest. So he spends a lot of the show struggling to figure out, where he's gonna live and how he's going to get on his feet. And like I said, this is again, I just don't know. It's kind of, I guess I could find some articles or some interviews with Lena Waithe and see why she chose kind of like these three different areas to focus on. But again, like, how does he really tie into things? So it is what it is, but I don't think he really does much else that episode besides, like I said, he's another guy that's in the middle of struggle. He's not happy. He's not thriving and doing well. That's just kind of a constant theme in the shot. And then lastly, moving on to Ronnie. We didn't see the detective at all this episode. But we do see Ronnie, who I believe is still just in maybe what would be the county jail or whatnot. I don't think or maybe further than that, since he did try to admit to the shooting. But that's the son's name. It's not Ezekiel. I can't remember what the brother's name is. And anyway, I won't even mention that. But Ronnie is trying to find some way to focus his time and be productive while he's inside the walls. And he takes on like a younger inmate and tries to say some things to him and encourage him and just trying to find a way to matter. And then they take some time over the course of the episode and dig into kind of what led to us encountering Ronnie last year. They did some flashbacks, so I think it was good to understand because Ronnie really just seemed like an absolute loser last year, and I was really uh, again, nobody has a job. Nobody's doing anything productive. Him and these cats was just sitting on the stoop, and he was like the leader of them or something, but he didn't really have anything going on. So again, I just don't know where we're going with some of these storylines. But anyway, after spending most of the episode being positive and trying to be, somewhat of a mentor to this other inmate, he pulls something out of his toilet, some kind of pink liquid, and drinks it. I don't know if that's some kind of jailhouse liquor or something or whatever it was, but it just seemed like he wasn't handling his time too well. Uh, in closing, one thing that I don't know, it just added like more insult to injury on, like I said, with the whole theme of negativity and struggle, to see Ronnie's mom attacked at the end of the episode. She's obviously an elderly lady. I'm assuming she's in her mid 60s, maybe closer to 70 or something. But some young individual, we don't know where this person came from or how this person was motivated. But a guy comes to the door to her house, and he's soliciting money for some kind of fund, some kind of charity or something. So she opens the door, and I believe was going to give him a couple of dollars, and then he forces the door open and just bludgeons this older lady, drags her around the house. Her face is soaked with blood. It's blood all over the floor. Punches and kicks her several times, and they kind of rummage through the house and whatnot. Another guy comes in the back door, and like I said, we really don't know what's going on here. She had been yelling at some kids or some cats out in the street earlier in the episode, but it didn't seem like it was anything that warranted this type of violence. And it seems like they knew her, so I don't know if it's some kind of message to be sent to Ronnie, for somebody worrying about him saying something or something, you know, snitching or giving up some information to help himself out in terms of getting out of jail. I don't know, but I just thought it was very graphic. And like I said, just nobody in the show has anything uplifting going on or positive going on, except for maybe Keisha, who's kind of moved on. Is it Ephraim? I think it's Ephraim. Maybe it's Ephraim. I don't know. But Keisha seems to be focusing on school again and standing up for herself and not just being, an afterthought or just a quick screw for whatever my man's name is. I think his singer name is Lattimore. Not Lattimore. Lassiter. Like I told you, I usually have all my notes in front of me, but I'm kind of doing this on the move. So, but anyway, that's how this first episode closes out. All in all, I don't want to really rate it, but I think I am interested in seeing what happens next week. See who else returns to the fold, and seeing what storylines from last year kind of carry over with some of the other characters, and just see how Brandon gets back on his feet, and how things kind of play out with Ronnie. It seems like from the preview for next week, it seems like Ronnie, word gets back to him maybe that his mother was attacked, and he needs to. It seems like he's trying to figure out a way how he can get out of jail, and we'll see what the writers and Lena Waithe does with handling that situation, because again, like I said, with Trice being put out of the show in season 1 as the lead gangster, to see a character like Ronnie with so much time spent on him last season, and then for him to be taken off of the streets and put into jail and creating a different storyline totally away from everything else, like I said, I just wonder how we're gonna keep all of this wrapped up together, and what we're working to, or what's gonna be the payoff in tuning in week to week to the shot. So that's kind of all I have on this episode. Like I said, I would have liked to have done a live stream. Still haven't seen Billions this week. Also another Showtime, part of the Sunday night Showtime lineup. But I'll get to that. And until next time.